What is going on, guys? This is your boy HQ420. Welcome everybody back to another episode, Showtime with the Cube. As always, I've got my co-host with me, the powerful Corey Hughes. Corey, you doing good this afternoon?
Yes, I'm feeling quite powerful today, sir.
Quite powerful. Maybe overpowered, okay? Maybe overpowered, guys. Now, if it's your first time to this channel, don't hesitate, hit the subscribe button, listen to us on podcast platforms, hit the follow button. We appreciate everybody who has checked us out so far and has listened to us so far. So today, in this particular episode, we're going to be doing Andor episodes 9 and 10. Now, we're getting pretty close to the finale. But as always, with these episodes of what we had so far, they've all been bangers. They've all been good, okay? Very good. And 9 and 10 is no different. Builds the suspense, more character building as we go along this journey with Andor. So first things first, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to dive right into episode 9. And episode 9 begins with Deidre actually has captured Bix and is beginning an interrogation on Bix. Now, this Deidre, but she's ruthless, okay? I mean, she's like no nonsense. She may have a dick. Okay, I mean, she's like very masculine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I keep sensing a soft spot that will be exploited at some point.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah, I keep seeing it. Yeah.
Where you think it might be exploited?
I don't know. I do not know, but I'm seeing. I don't want to call it weakness, but there's a side to her that I think can be exploited by the rebellion. But we'll have to see.
If anything, it would be her over ambition. Could we say that potentially?
Yeah, I mean that could be compensating for something for this weakness, perhaps.
There's potential, but we haven't seen the particular weakness yet that they may be able to quote unquote exploit. But of course, she begins to interrogate Bix. You know, you go through your usual interrogation. Will you tell me what's going on? Will you tell me where Andor's at? No? Okay, then we're gonna have to get the good doctor on you, okay? The good doctor. All right. And there's multiple forms of torture to get said information. One of my favorites, the waterboarding, okay? That's one of my favorites to see them do. But this one was a little bit different. Now, I want to get the let's see if I get the name of the actual. Was it? I don't know if it was pig. I believe it was animals, if I'm correct. There was particular animal noises that they put through. Looks like a headset, and it kind of just makes you break down. Now, it'd have been very interesting to hear what actual sounds it made because it said that the sounds were almost like children wailing as they died. So it's just like, this must be some horrific shit, Bo, because like the minute they put it on her head, boy, you're like, oh, okay, this is some tough stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about the interrogation process right there with Bix?
Yeah. See, I wasn't sure if it was as you describe it or if they did some sort of weird sound torture with odd frequencies that make your head hurt or something like that, because that stuff's very real. So, I mean, they got super high frequencies that can like shatter the bones in your ears. So they could have done anything. So I wasn't sure exactly how that went and exactly how that thing worked. But yes, nonetheless, it was torture.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and as we said, I think they had captured, if I'm correct, the other gentleman that was Andor's friend as well, and they had completely broke him, as they had spoke about, and they were actually speaking about hanging him in the courtyard as a as a sign to say, hey guys, we're the Empire. Don't fuck with us, okay? With the Empire, we'll come and we will bust your ass without a shadow of a doubt. So I really didn't know where Bix's character was going because we kind of moved away from her for a few episodes. But it does seem like she's going to have some type of standing relationship still, or some standing main plot driver at some point in time in this series. I don't see them taking her out anytime soon, because they do say they're going to leave her alive, almost using her as bait. As Deidre says, that they're using the mom as bait as well. But what's wild is that these people still, nobody still knows that, man, Andor in jail. I mean, just like, I mean, y'all got all this going on, and don't nobody know Andor's in jail. How is that the case, Corey?
Who knows? You're not supposed to ask those kind of questions, as my mom used to tell me.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, but hold on now. I mean, I got to ask those questions. I'm just like, don't y'all think y'all? I mean, this dude is like, I was like, but he's wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. First off, he went off to hide, and thus he was hiding when he got caught, and he got caught under a different name. So it could take quite a bit, because if he was going to get identified, it would have to leak out of the jail or have to be identified by the jail for it to leak out in the first place. So I don't see it as too far-fetched. Plus, you know, he was very secretive in general, is the kind of impression I got. So, yeah, I'm not overly surprised that they didn't know where he was. But you would think that, what's the rich guy with the shop? What's his name? I always forget.
Luthien.
Okay, so Luthien, you would think that he has this vast spy network, that somebody in the jail would recognize him and be a contact there. But I guess his reach doesn't go that far.
Potentially, which we actually figure out, he's got reaches in other portions of the Empire as well, as we see in the next episode. But this kind of sets up more of Deidre as and Karn's still gonna have some type of something's gonna happen with Karn. I'm not sure what, but he's just around a lot. I don't know if he's going to end up moving up the ranks, if he's going to make some type of major break, maybe a major break in out in Luthien Rail. You think there's potential there? Potentially, because he seems like he's going. At some point in time, he's going to make some type of connection. At some point in time,
it's possible. Hard to predict, honestly. So we'll see. We'll have to see.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, they go through that. Bix, of course, is uncooperative. Now I'm assuming that they found her as she was trying to signal to Luthien Rail in that radio, the radio tower, because they ask her about that. He's like, "Oh, who is he?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know." It's like, "Well, you contacted him 7 times. You mean to tell me you don't know who he is?" I mean, yeah. I mean, he comes, he buys, he leaves. I mean, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I don't ask any questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make a transaction here. So that's the whole premise there of trying to break her down. Now, we don't ever see if she actually ends up giving up any information. I'm assuming that she does not. Will Cassian go back to Ferrix? You think by the end of this, we got 2 more episodes left. You think he'll go back to Ferrix and potentially try to save her and his mother? You think that could be a possibility in this particular season?
That's a possibility, but it would have to get back to him quick. How many episodes are left?
There's 2.
Including number 10, and then there's the finale is 11. Is that correct?
Oh, no. This is 9 and 10.
Right.
This is episode 9 and 10. So we got 11 and 12.
11 and 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would have to be a major factor in the next plot of the next show. So word would have to get back to him, and how would word get back to him? Through Luthien?
Yeah, that's a good question, because that particular place that they're at is isolated by water. So,
well, he's off of there. Well, sooner or later he will be off of there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So how this information gets back to him, where exactly he goes, will be the real question. Whether he try to contact them once he gets to his next destination, which we'll talk about in episode 10. with the actual jailbreak. All right, and here it is right here. Dr. Gorse explains the Imperials have modified the recordings, taking an interest in the recordings of children, which he describes as having a particular effect. So it's the massacre of Dizonites is the actual sounds that they have, and they have modified the actual recordings to make them sound like children dying. So it's just like,
man, that sounds pretty bad. But like, is that enough to break it down? Really?
Hey, bud. I mean, well, he says they're an alien race. So he says that the aliens make a choral, agonized sound when they die, which he describes as unique. Okay, so but this particular sound, bud. I mean, it's got to be excruciating. That's all I know. It's got to be almost like a high pitched shrill. You know what I'm saying? You get 10, 15 minutes of this, Bo, you're like, no mas, man. And I mean, it fatigues them. Like it takes away all their wheels. So it's like, I mean, it must be tough. I wish they would have I wish we would have when they were putting the headset on, like you would have heard the initial sounds of it when they're putting it on, and they put it over our ears, and then it stops. You can't hear it. That way, it would give me a good idea. I want to hear what the shrill was like. I got a feeling that for some reason, okay, this is a prediction that Bix will somehow escape, and then Dr. Gorse, she'll put that thing on his head and leave it on and leave him. I got that prediction. I'm calling it here. All right,
That sounds pretty good.
We might need to notate that. I'm calling it right here. I might need to mark the clip. Mark the clip. Mark my words. I think that is on the horizon. Okay, I believe that's on the horizon. So of course we move away from that. We go back to the actual jail cell. And the actual name of the episode is Nobody's Listening. Now Andor, this dude's smart, man. I mean, he's got the full package. He's got the full package. He's like, hold on a second. It's like, there ain't nobody listening to us, like at all. There's no comms down here. There's no sound equipment, anything. So we can talk freely about escape, and nobody's gonna know. And he's also figured out the actual rotation of people being brought into the actual facility, and where he could exploit that and actually escape. I mean, but this dude's almost, man, he's like a mastermind. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a master strategist.
Well, there's a will, there's a way, and he needs to get out of there. That the last episode, the first time that he got into the jail, he took that first 30 days, man, in stride. It seemed he didn't seem overly fazed by it. The urgency to get out didn't arise until this last episode.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that was a little strange. How it didn't seem like there was an urgency for him in the beginning.
Yeah, well, I think he was, as we see early on in this particular episode, he was already plotting because he had formed some type of metal tool, almost like a sheath, and he was actually working on a pipe. Now, I didn't understand what that pipe was that he was cutting at that point in time, but you see him actually cutting on a pipe. But he had actually figured out the movements of the guards. He figured out that the actual stage that they let down on when they're bringing a new prisoner in, that thing is not electrified. It can't fry you. So he figured that out. So figured out that they weren't listening. Now, of course, the leader, or can we call him leader? I guess technically the manager on duty, which is Keno Loy. He's not trying to hear any of this. He's steadfast on the idea that if we work, if we do our job, once our sentence is up, we get released. Now, this is where the rumblings come about, as they're doing sign language across the barriers. And they find out that, is it Unit 2 or Unit 4?
I thought it was
Unit 2.
I thought it was Unit 1. I thought it was the ground, level 1.
Oh, no. Okay, no, it was level 2. Okay, so it was level 2. So they figured out, and this is at Narkenia 5, that's the name of the prison, they figured out level 2, or there's rumblings that all the men in level 2 are dead. That's what the rumblings are. Of course, Kino Loy. And of course, when people hear this, they start freaking out. They're like, "Wait, you mean to tell me that they fried a whole level? I mean, they just killed everybody?" And there's rumblings that somebody from Unit 4 was supposed to get out, but all he did was get transferred to level 2, and people figured that out, and they were like, "Oh, holy shit. You don't get out of here. Like, you don't get out. Like, once you're here, that's it for you." And I think that's where the urgency came into play. You see that across the board with the way the people are starting to freak out and things of that nature. Of course, Andor's keeping it cool, and he's saying, "Hey, guys, don't make it seem like we know something, because they just hit the button at any time." But at that point in time, it lets him know. They say, "Hold on a second. If they're willing to kill 100 men because they figured out that they're transferring them, there must not be that many guards here." What would you think about that deduction right there?
Yeah. If you have a system in place, a good system in place like they had with the hot floors or the electrified floors, then you don't really need a lot of men to manage them, And when you have implants in the back of their heads, and when you have vicious means of enforcing the rules, then yeah, you could manage a couple hundred men with like 4 or 5 guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's pretty much what they were doing. I'd probably say at the facility there was probably maybe 30, 40 people at the facility, and there's 5,000 men that they're managing.
Right. And he said that there were no more than 12 per level, but that was a maximum number, right? So there definitely were not 70, 80 men there. Definitely not. It was a much skimpier number.
Yeah, and when you talk about comparison, that low amount of men to 5,000 prisoners, you know what I'm saying? I mean, one chink in the armor gets taken out, and that's it. But it's like we ain't got enough men. We're gonna get overran. So they're kind of, Andor's kind of maneuvering through that, understanding it's like, okay, hold on a second. There's there ain't that. It seems very weird they would fry a whole floor, because they figured out that you don't get out of here. And of course, Kaino is, which is the manager. He doesn't say, he's still almost in pretend land and trying to make it seem like, "Nah, guys, that's not the way this is. I trust them to let us out when our sentence is over and things like that," because every time he goes up and tells people, "Oh, you've only got 100 more days or 100 more shifts," you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of that hope was actually stripped away, and it wasn't stripped away initially until actually later on in this particular episode, where one of the gentlemen who was actually on the particular floor plan with Andor pretty much has a stroke. He strokes out. Okay. And that's when they send a doctor down there to him. And I don't know what we think was in those things. Cyanide? Maybe cyanide was in the shots he gave him. It was almost like an instant killer. What stops your heart immediately?
Something to put in.
Is it cyanide?
Yeah, it could have been cyanide. It could have been a couple of different things. But he gave him something to make sure it ended quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at that point in time, Andor is questioning about, what happened on level 2, and he managed to get one of the guards to go out to get a body bag, and he said, "Oh yeah, they fried all of them." And at that point in time, that's when Kano's like, "Oh, holy shit, we're just stuck here." And now that's when he gets him on board, because Andor was actually talking to him earlier, said, "Hey, look, ain't nobody listening. We need to figure out how to get out of here, because man, that's some bad shit that's gonna happen if we don't get out of here." So that's when the plan starts to come to fruition. At that point in time, when they get confirmation from that doctor, which I don't know if he was an actual doctor or not. I mean, I guess so. And come to find out, as we had said earlier, man, they're just picking people off the street and just saying, "Oh, yeah, you got 6 years." I mean, that's exactly what this facility is. It's just nabbing people off the street. Yeah, it was just a
workforce gatherer.
They're just nabbing people off the street. So that's why it was so weird when we were like, hold on a second, disturbing the peace and and bad mouthing the empire, and that's 10 years. It's like, do what? Is there no trial? It's no, get out of here. It's just like, oh, okay, so that's the way y'all round up slave labor, and they rounded up on a vacation planet. So hey guys, this goes to show you, you know what I'm saying? Be careful when you're on vacay. You know what I'm saying? Be careful where you vacation at. Hey, be careful. Hey, we've seen movies. Was it like a Hostel? Hey, that's the ultimate. Be careful where you vacation at. Overseas, okay, be careful which town you're going into. You might want to stay closer to the big cities. And then what's the other place? The woods. Okay.
Yeah. No, but I stayed at a hostel on Hollywood Boulevard a couple times. It was a little sketch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. When somebody says hostel, if I go anywhere and say, hey, man, there's a hostel we can stay at, I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll stay in my car, damn it. You know what I'm saying?
I kept wondering where all the naked chicks were, like in the movie.
They were nowhere to be found, right?
Nowhere to be found.
And let's be honest. If they are somewhere to be found and all of them are suddenly interested in you, you just be like, I've got a brow raised, okay? Be careful when you have a bunch of hot chicks that you ain't spit no game to all of a sudden interested in you. Because it's just like, if they're 8, 9s, or 10s, there's something afoot here, okay? There's something afoot. I'm like, hold on a second. I mean, I ain't said nothing. Y'all just walked over to me. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, do you want to go hang out? Nope. No, I'm good. I've done all the hanging I can do. I'm going to go chill in my ride now. And when I say chill in my ride, I'm getting out of here, okay? I ain't going back to no room or nothing. I see what's going on here. We got some shenanigans going on here. So
I like both my kidneys.
Yeah, there you go. So we got that. Don't stay in a hostel, okay, if you can help it, all right? And then going and vacationing in the woods. I ain't never understood that. That's just me personally. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go vacation in some remote woods somewhere where ain't nobody around. I'm like, yeah, that's a good way to end up dead. You know what I'm saying?
Usually the worst thing that can happen on a trip like that is that you get mauled by a bear or like a fucking mountain lion. In extreme rare cases, UFO gets you or Bigfoot, but that's super rare.
In other news, in super rare cases, Bigfoot might get you. I mean, oh, that's pretty good, man. Bigfoot might come by and might sweep you up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, Corey. It's just like every time somebody goes and stays in the woods, it's just like there's some bad shit gonna happen. Okay, we're in some remote woods. We ain't got no cell phone signal. You know, it's just bad stuff. So, vacation planet. You know what I'm saying? It's bad stuff.
You're all good as long as you don't have a camera running. Don't have teen sex in the woods. And what else is there? What are the other rules? There's other rules in a horror movie.
Hold on. Don't
hide in the closet.
Yep. Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Don't hide by running upstairs into the house.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go upstairs.
Yeah. Well, that's your first instinct. Oh, I'm getting away. Oh shit! I ran upstairs. That was dumb. Yeah. So there's some do's and don'ts. I might need to go through them. Might just need to do an episode of do's and don'ts of horror flicks. Okay. If you do these things, death is your friend. Okay, it's definitely imminent. So they figured that out. So at that point in time, you know, Andor looks at Kano and say, "Hey, look, guys, tomorrow's the day." You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, because he's figured out their shifts. He figured out when they're dropping people off. And so it's like, hey, tomorrow's going to be a drop of a new guy. I mean, that's the day. That's the day we got to go. So that formulates that particular part of it. And then the other part that we see is that Vale is actually Mon Mothma's cousin. And I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that at all. That was actually surprising. Oh, I can't hear you, Corey. Yep.
Yes. I did not know that either. But we had to figure that Vale was connected somehow, and that she wasn't connected to artifact guy. What's his name again? Luthien. By chance. There had to have been some other connection there, and now we know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so some of the questions formulated at that point in time, because it's like, man, people have seen her, okay? I mean, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's, I guess the photos don't get around. Okay, you know, I guess they don't have the eyewitness, you know, the drawings of people and things of that nature. That's not what they do in the Empire, okay? That's not something that they do often, because I'm like, now, of course, she looks a little bit different with her hair done and stuff, but I mean, she don't look that much different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this ain't Clark Kent, you know what I'm saying? Eyeglasses on, you know. Oh, it's Clark Kent, eyeglasses off. Well, who the hell is that? This is a totally new guy. I'm like, man, yo, this is the same dude, man. I mean, he just took his eyeglasses off. Oh, be serious. I'm not, don't let my secret identity get out there, bud. I mean,
well, there's some hidden meaning to that, and I'll tell you after the show.
Okay, I got you. I missed out on the hidden meeting on that. And so Vale shows up at Mon Mothma's place, unbeknownst. I don't think she was expecting her to be there. And, of course, she's brought a dress for her daughter. And I think that was just that was all the ruse to go in there and talk to Mon Mothma, which is still in the process of actually trying to get these funds moved. All right, she's still in the process of trying to move her funds. But they just have a short get together. And Mon Mothma, of course, she's still getting cold feet, okay, because things are getting heated. All right, things are getting heated. She wasn't expecting things to move this far. She seems more like a lady who tries to move things through legislation, which is the way she wanted to move things through. So this particular route that Luthien and Vale has taken is got her nervous. And we actually find out, which I don't know if we found that out earlier, but Chandrila, so marriage. So her marriage was pre-set up, because I believe, if I'm correct, they said that her and her husband been married since 16.
Right. So that's what I got. That's what I got from that.
Yeah. What do you call that?
Pre-arranged.
Arranged marriage. Yeah, arranged marriage. There we go. Yeah, arranged marriage. So I can see how, because they, even though they're married, technically they've had a kid. It doesn't seem like there's much love there. You know what I'm saying? It just seems just kind of like
a mutual understanding.
Yeah, it's just like yeah. That's it. Like, yeah, we married, we have sex, we have a kid, and then we just kind of stay away from each other from there on out. Just like, and this is the way. And wasn't that in one of the Star Wars movies? This is or
that was TV from The Mandalorian.
This is the way. There it is. There it is. And yeah, but so Mon Mothma and Vale, they have conversation together. Of course, she's concerned for Vale because Vale's on the front lines. She's getting her hands dirty. So, you know, at any point in time, she could get put down. And I'm gonna be honest with you. These guns that they shoot in Star Wars, bud, it's one hit, one kill. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you get hit anywhere in the body, you dead. All right, I ain't seen anybody who got shot yet that's came back. That's all I'm saying. If you get hit anywhere in the torso area, okay.
Center mass.
Yeah. If you get hit anywhere there, then it's a done blow for you. Okay. So she knows that this particular mission that she's getting put on or getting put in by Luthien, that it's high risk. Okay. She's unsure of whether it's high reward, and Mon Mothma is kind of like thinking about pulling out, and she's like, hey, remember, but I mean, we in this, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we in this all the way. So that's pretty much wrapping up episode 9. I'm sorry, 9. We do
Episode
see
9.
we do see a little bit of Karn, and him talking with his mother, and come to find out that supposedly he has got a promotion within the firm he's at. So we do see that. And
Not overly thrilling for him.
yeah, he does. Now his mother's happy. You know what I'm saying? His mother's ecstatic. But you know that's about it. You know what I'm saying, for Cyril Karn in this particular episode, which me and you both think that we're going to have something going on there. And of course, we got to speak also that Tay Colma actually comes back to Mon Mothma and pretty much puts out there and say, "Hey, you're gonna have to do some shady dealings with a criminal in order to get these funds moved." You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little FTX, drama.
It's obvious that she's not comfortable with this lifestyle outside the lines,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's prim and proper and likes to do things within the system. Like a good little girl.
Yeah, and I think the gentleman's name is Davo Skulden. That's the gentleman's name, Davo Skulden. We don't know a ton about him. We just know that he's been proposed as a criminal. So what kind of criminal he is, I'm not sure.
He appears to have several legitimate business fronts that he can use to move multiple transactions bundled together, thus hiding some transactions within the bundle. That seems to be the method by which he can move money around and not draw attention to it.
Okay. I'm down with that. Yeah. So I think we're going to see more of him. Maybe in the second season. I could see us seeing more of him in the second season, because she kind of didn't have much of a choice, which we'll talk about in episode 10 what his proposal is. But her options are kind of limited with the way the Empire is structuring things and are scrutinizing everybody's bank account and the amount of credits that are being moved. She's trying to get access to 400,000 credits to move, or to what's Tay say? We're going to move them into a charitable cause per se. So she didn't have much of a choice, but to probably end up doing business with them eventually. Now, the last thing we just need to talk about, they actually apprehended a rebel pilot who was using a stolen Imperial masking unit, and they killed him, and they're staging a wreck, trying to draw in rebel alliances.
Right. A false flag.
Yep, false flag, and we all know about those. They happen all the time. This is real shit, guys. Okay, when they're over here, when you see the Empire doing something like this, don't think it ain't being done in real time. You know what I'm saying? People just ain't making this shit up on the fly. A false flag. So they're trying to do that to lure somebody in, and there's actually one of the gentlemen in there, and I can't think of his name right offhand. There's so many damn names. But he is actually an associate of Luthien Rail, which we find out in episode 10.
Right, and he appears to be an overly ambitious agent of the Empire on the surface.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what he appears at the surface. So that is episode 9, and now we are going to jump into episode 10, which is labeled One Way Out. One Way Out. And as the title of the episode is, this is pretty much the escape plan for Andor, Kano, and the rest of the inmates after they find out that level 2 have been decimated. And so they're like, okay, guys, we got to do something today. All right. And the day is that day. Now, their plan is like spot on, man. Their plan is like spot on. Like I was sitting there, and I know me and you were trying to think about how they would get out, and we didn't even think, hey, but if they could get a water supply on the floor, then when they hit the switch, it would fry the circuits. I was just like, well,
Right. I was wondering what he was doing every time he went back into that bathroom. I didn't know what he was cutting that pipe for.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was just like, and it looked like whatever he had formulated, it almost just looked like a filing tool. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I was like, man, when he cuts this, what's it? I mean, we're going to get some type of explosion or what? That's what I was thinking right off.
I was thinking maybe he was cutting the power, shorting the power out, and then they could escape. Something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Huh. That's a good. That's good right there. Cutting the power. I can see that. But as we find out, he's actually cutting the water supply. And whenever he cuts that particular water supply and it floods the floor, when they hit the button, of course, if you were standing on the floor at that point in time, which one person was, you got electrocuted. But it shorted out the facility. Okay, it shorted out the entire facility, and they proceeded their escape from there. Now, a lot of them did get struck down as far as got shot by the couple of guards up there, but they do manage to overtake the actual facility itself and proceed to escape. Now, a lot of the guards ended up hiding because, most of them got killed outright. They were there hiding behind the door. They were like, yo, guys, we're screwed. And I don't know why I thought that they were going to end up grabbing some boots, but I guess once the button was hit, it just pretty much fried the whole system, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Yes, that's what it did. It took the entire hot floor system offline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's actually a main command center, and they actually go through there and they actually get the keys, shut everything down. So yeah, Andor's plan works to perfection at that point in time. He pulled it off immediately when they were dropping down as far as bringing a new inmate in. Now, of course, that inmate instantly gets killed. Which is fitting, okay?
Imagine walking into that.
Yeah, it's a hole, bud. This is unbeknownst to me. And man takes a laser right to the chest. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn, that sucks. But obviously it jammed that particular system as well as far as the floor lift. So everything electrically is done in that particular facility. They're able to gain access to the weapons, and so it's pretty much game over for the guards there at that moment, because there's 5,000 men. There's, as we said, probably 50, 60 of them. If we were guessing, probably tops. And they took quite a few of them out at the beginning. So it's pretty much done for them. Great plan by Andor. As I said before, this man, do we think it's just intuition? Do we think it's just his intellect? Do we think he's had a whole lot of training in these particular situations? It seems like a mixture.
It does seem like a mixture, but I think instinct probably sums it up. He's kind of a natural for leading people in a rebellion. And so I don't know if you'll recall, but if you fast forward to Rogue One, what is his title? What is his title in Rogue One? Let's do some trivia here.
Damn, I ain't going to lie to you. It's been so long since I watched Rogue One. I can't remember what I wanted to do. Is after I watch these two seasons, go back and watch Rogue One and see that comparison. But tell the audience. So
his actual title is Captain in the Rebel Army. And so he has an official position with the official staff and crew and all that in his own ship. So his instincts and his skills obviously pay off. And at some point in the future, and they don't even hint at this yet, But at some point in the future, he is going to be reunited with the rebellion.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. So he's obviously a mastermind. Dude's very good at planning. Andor's the shit. Let's just say it. Andor's the shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of a sad end, but probably a fitting end for him and the other young lady on that beach as they get nuked, liberated from their body by a nuke, or meltdown of the planet. They managed to break out of the facility. Okay, they managed to break out of the facility. Of course, this facility is in the middle of the water, so you've got to swim out. And hey, look, as you said the other day when we were speaking, the one guy who can't swim, Kano. This is my moment of freedom. And he gets there, I can't swim. Well, damn it, you gonna learn today.
You better learn real quick.
Hey, look,
see,
man,
the thing I didn't like was after he said that, he started to slowly back up, like he was scared.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see him get knocked in like all these other people got knocked into the water.
Yeah. You never seen him actually get, or did he get knocked in?
I don't know. But either way, it didn't feel good for him.
No, because you're like, well, damn, but I'm about to drown out here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to drown out here. Oh, let me make sure.
Well, he's definitely going to die if he stuck around.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, it didn't say up here if he gets knocked in, so I'm assuming that he didn't get knocked in as he's backing up. So the last you see of Andor at that point, because pretty much this entire episode was the escape plan, was
Correct.
escaping. That was pretty much the entirety of the episode. There was a couple of plot points in other places, and we're going to talk about that right here in a moment. But that was pretty much the gist of this episode. And then we see Andor and the other guy's name is Melshi. They make it to a beach. Now, I don't know where this beach is taking them. I'm assuming that they're still on the same planet.
They're on a prison planet. Yeah. They're on a prison planet.
Yeah, so I'm not as they don't know. Of course, the garb that they're in is not the best garb, prisoners' robes. So it's going to be very interesting in the next episode to see where they end up and what kind of challenges they have before them to actually make it off this particular planet, which they kind of left that open ended. It didn't really like
if
anything.
They get off the planet. Remember, Luthien still has a bounty out on him, and so he's got he's going to be out of the frying pan and into the fire, so to speak.
This is true, yeah, because Vale's love interest, which I can't think of her name right offhand, but Vale's love interest is still on Ferrix, spying, and waiting to see if Andor will come back to the planet. So she is still there. You see a glimpse of her during that. You also see another spy out there as they are spying on Marva as well to see if Andor comes back. So there's multiple spies here. Luthien's got spies looking for Andor. The Empire's got spies looking for Andor. So at some point in time, these spies are going to have to cross paths. All right. We're figuring that. Like, they're going to end up in the same room at the same time. They're like, oh, shit. So it's going to be the fastest draw. I mean, it's got to happen. I don't see any other way out of this. It's got to happen there. So that's pretty much for their escape. I mean, it's kind of pretty cut and dry. But as always, the building of tension, how are they going to get out of these particular situations? I think this show has done a very good job of building tension throughout the episodes and moving the plot along in a meaningful way, which is a lot of times they have issues in these TV shows, movies, and moving the plot along. What do you think about that?
Yeah, man, I think it's great. I think that the only thing that might beat it out is She-Hulk, because that was obviously some true genius plot sculpting that we saw there. So no, but all kidding aside, this is the only show I'm liking on TV right now that I really think everybody should watch. It's definitely given me hope that Star Wars isn't completely dead. Unfortunately, we know this story has a limited lifespan. So I just hope they give us something decent that can integrate into canon that's this good after this is done.
Yeah, and I think there's still hope for all kind of franchises. They just got to. I think what they have to do is move away from the right now the woke narrative. Okay, I mean, I think they just got to move away from it. So, like we've got so we've got Deidre in this particular TV show, and she is a strong female character, but it seems fitting for her personality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
it's
they did a perfect
woke.
casting of her, and she's doing a great job of like showing, ambition as a woman in the imperial hierarchy. And from what we're seeing, women don't usually move up, and so she's showing how cutthroat she is. She'll do whatever she needs to do. She'll murder whoever she needs to murder. Will interrogate. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like everything encompassed to her. You're seeing the full force of her personality and how much ambition she has to move up in the ranks, and it doesn't feel forced. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it doesn't feel forced. We've got Mon Mothma, we got Vale. None of these characters that are women, they don't seem forced upon us. You know what I'm saying?
No, and they're historically canon. So no, they're doing it really well. But in speaking of series that they should do, and I think everybody can agree on, I think everybody would love a series based around Jar Jar Binks post, the prequels. I think everyone would just love that. Give us a good 10 seasons of that. Oh, what could go wrong?
Wasn't there a rumor that Jar Jar Binks was a Sith Lord?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
That he was a Sith Lord. It's like, look at him out here. You know what I'm saying? He just manages to not ever get shot. Like he falls at the right time. He slap things. Jar Jar's a damn Sith Lord. Because didn't he end up being like part of the Senate? Am I right?
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, old Jar Jar Binks. You know what I'm saying? I think some people at one point in time were saying that was racist. That Jar Jar Binks was like a racist thing. Is that what I'm saying?
I don't know how they get that. I'm pretty sure it was a black guy in the suit.
Well, hey, look, man, it just is what it is. Okay, just overlook that. All right, overlook that. It's okay.
I don't look at fictional characters and try to determine the underlying fucking issues the person has, and it's determined by some kind of racial fucking bias. I think it's ridiculous. It's a character in a movie. Jesus.
Oh, it's kind of like, with Sesame Street, you ain't out here like saying like trying to figure out what if Bert and Ernie are gay. You know what I'm saying? You're not out here trying to figure that out. It's like, man, is Bert and Ernie gay? It's like, dude, what, man? And somebody was like, oh yeah, they're gay. I'm like, they're Muppets. So.
I believe in this modern woke era within the past few years, they officially did imply something like that.
Yeah, that's what it said. Well, I mean, when they said it, I was like, oh, hold on a second now. y'all ain't telling me that the Muffins are gay, right? Yeah, we ain't going there, right? We ain't gonna take it there. Yes, we're gonna take it there. All right. We're gonna take it all the way there. So that's that particular sequence there. Now we have a couple other things that happen in this episode. We do have the one moment where Karn is stalking Deidre. Okay, I mean she's just she's just walking.
She done warned him.
Hey, look, but she's walking right along, and then all of a sudden he grabs her arm, is like this,
Surprise, motherfucker.
Dude, he's fucking around. He gonna find out.
Dude, when he grabbed her arm, I was like, does Karn want to hit? I mean, that's what I thought. I was like, is Corn trying to hit? I mean, I ain't know if he's trying to slay out. He's like, man, I like them baggy pants on you, girl. I mean,
But see, the problem is he done gone out of his way already to get their attention. He got their attention, and she said, fuck off, and he's not dropping it. That could be problematic. Unfortunately, I think because of just how the series is going and the fact that they keep coming back to him, he is going to end up back in the fold somehow.
Yeah, when we say back in the fold, I'm talking about in a major way. I mean, he's got to be back in the fold in a major way, and of course, putting his hands on her. But I mean, that was, I mean, she could instantly have him thrown in jail.
She probably could have shot him on the spot, and it would have been legit.
Yeah, that's true. And in this like harassment, isn't it what they call this? Did they have harassment in Star Wars? Is there such thing?
I don't know. It seems like they're more of the just handle this bullshit kind of people.
Okay. I was just sitting there. I was like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was sitting there watching that scene the whole time. I was like, man, this dude might lean in for a kiss. Like he had that look on his face, and Deidre was like when he was grabbing her, it's like, man, is this dude gonna try to go cop a feel or what? I mean, I ain't quite sure what's going on with this guy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't strike me as the guy who would be a particular ladies' man. Corn, he didn't seem like a ladies' man at all.
He's all work and no play.
Yeah, that's to a T. And Deidre at that point in time gives him one last warning. It says, "Look, dog, I got what I needed from you. Drop this shit, or it's gonna be bad for you." Okay. Now, as we said, is Corn gonna drop it?
Nope.
He ain't gonna do it. Man said, "I can't let this go, bud. I can't let this one go." All right. And he's going to fight this thing to the bitter end. He's going to have to out somebody. He's going to figure something out. Is he going to figure something out by the end in the next 2 episodes?
You mean like out a spy or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's going to overhear something. He's going to follow somebody. Something like that to get him back into the fold. Maybe even get him into one of those positions.
I can see the scene coming where he has some completely unreasonable ESP suspicion that somebody might lead him somewhere and then he follows them, and it does lead him somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like something just utterly ridiculous is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I got a feeling of. I just got this feeling. So we still got that dynamic in between them. And at that point in time, Deidre gives him the final warning, say, "Hey, look, drop it, or it's just not going to end well for you. Okay, drop it at the point in time." As we've said, Corn's not going to drop it because he just can't. He said, "Look, man, I mean, I tried, and me sitting at the house eating bowls of cereal with my mom, it just ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? I got to." What kind of cereal is he? It's blue. Their milk is blue.
Was weirding me out.
The milk is blue. It's almost like Cocoa Puffs. I'm thinking something similar to Cocoa Puffs.
Well, I always think it's funny, like science fiction writers or producers, they have a tendency to do weird things to common objects to make them look futuristic, right? Like on Star Trek, the thing that like pours the drink will have like an extra curve in the fucking nose of it, right? Where the spout where it pours out. It'll have an extra loop in there, and that means it's futuristic, right? So they always got to add this little thing to it, like blue to the milk, to indicate that's what they do in the future, even though Star Wars is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So, yeah.
But they got better technology than us.
Right, so futuristic technology, just as modern technology with a little extra twist to it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what else we got in this episode? Oh, yes. Mon Mothma and Tacoma meet up with Davo Sculdun, okay? And, they have a very cordial back and forth, you know what I'm saying? As rich folk do.
Speaking very politically minded, right? Yeah. Saying the right things.
Yeah, I like how they I like how they insult each other witty insulting. Okay, it sounds very proper. I'm very proper when I insult you. You know what I'm saying? So they're very proper in the insulting. So Tay brings Davo to meet Mon Mothma, and of course they exchange their pleasantries. They start discussing efforts to secure alternative funding for her quote unquote foundation, which we know the foundation is funneling money into the rebellion. That's the whole purpose of it. And, they go through the situation of how they can do that. Now, within that, Davo has a price. And the price is his son gets her daughter in marriage. That's the price. Because he's just like, oh, yeah, they need to meet.
He did put it quite eloquently without quite saying it, but it was understood what was being said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now my Mothma's already very is not comfortable at all. Okay, this thing has, but she didn't expect it to get this deep. Which whenever you get in a situation such as these, whenever you start to go and start doing stuff rebellious against the establishment, you need to expect for it to get deep. Okay.
Yes. It is though, like, going to your bank and saying, hey, I want to do a big money transfer. And they're like, hey, no problem. It'll be 10% and your firstborn.
It's just like that. Hold on a second. What'd you just say? and my firstborn. You want both? I said, okay, I got you. So yeah, that's what Davo. That's the price he puts on the table. He don't want. And initially, she's trying to talk to him about, hey, you can get what was it? I think 40%. Was it 40%? 10%? What was the number?
Chunk. It was a big chunk.
Yeah, so,
well worth it for the transaction.
So yeah, you get a percentage of the money throughout there, or interest on it, or whatever. And
she made it very clear that she just wanted to pay the toll and not have to owe anything.
Yep. That's the whole thing. It's like I'd rather just pay you and not be like have to owe a favor later. That's exactly what was said. Because you all and this goes into real life, guys. Okay, whenever somebody says, "Hey, man, I'm gonna do something for you, but I don't want no payment for it," you be like, "What do you mean you don't want no payment?" Okay, boy, look at that thing with suspicion. Okay, because there is a surprise around the corner, and he hits her with the surprise. I just want to introduce my 14-year-old son to your 13-year-old daughter. Oh, introduce? AKA, I want you to set up an arranged marriage between my son and your daughter. That was it. And I was like, oh. Now, how do you think this was going to play out, Corey?
Yeah, not well. She is not the type to bend to something like that stubbornly. Although she's going to have to come up with some compromise.
Yeah, I don't see any other way to make it happen. If that's his terms of agreement,
he might have her over a barrel now that he's aware of the fact she wants to move money.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that could be the case. But I'm trying to think of a way that she could move in a different direction. Of course, we don't know who else is going to be introduced, but as Tay is telling her right now, it's like, hey, look, the only means right now of us moving these funds without getting caught is through criminal activity. Pretty much. I mean, that's just it.
And it's hard for her to come to grips with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because even though she's part of the Senate, technically, I guess technically we could say she's part of the Empire. Been like that for a while.
Because the Galactic Senate isn't dissolved until Star Wars the movie, which is still quite a ways off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're still a little ways off. So of course at that time, my Mothma asked if that's his only offer. Is there anything else I can do? I thought maybe he said, well, I mean, can I get a crack at you? I mean, what's up? I mean, I don't know. It's just like, well, I mean, if I can't do that, let me get a crack at it. All right. and then we'll be good. I think that's fair. It says no, but that's all he wants. Which obviously he wants access to the Senate. That's what it seems like. Because I don't know if
or
that's
some kind of future status. It seems as though her family has
status.
clout.
Yeah, or future status. So it seems he wants access to that to further his particular empire, his criminal empire, which we don't even know how criminal it is, technically.
Right.
He is a banker. I wonder if
he must have had a reputation because she was aware of him and didn't want any part of it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is true. So we had that exchange. It's going to be very interesting to see where how that ends up at the end over the next couple of episodes, because we're figuring that we've got to have some way of getting her funds from her account into the rebel hands. So that seems like her only option right now. Tay can't see any other type of option as far as her getting her funds out of her trust to move them to the rebels. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. The last thing is this double agent, and his name is Lonnie Jung. Okay, Lonnie Jung, and we actually see him when they're talking about setting up the old bait and switch, the false flag, with the Imperial or with the rebel ship, and he overhears that particular conversation, and he goes and actually talks to Luthien, which we didn't know. We didn't know that was the case.
Right, he was the
earlier.
spy on the inside, and he's pretty high up, it seems, in the Empire.
Yeah, so a real question is, I mean, how many contacts does Luthien have in the Empire? It's obviously quite a few.
Well, that's not the impression I got. The impression I got was that he was super important, and that it to me implied a scarcity.
Okay, scarcity as in what way?
A scarcity in regards to there not being a whole lot of people that high up in the Empire who he could get information from. Because he wants out, right? He comes to Luthien and he's like, look, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I got a family and I got all that stuff. Yeah, he talks about Deidre and how she's rising up the ranks. She's very smart.
Yep, and he tells Luthien everything that's going on. And Luthien even says to him, oh, you're bringing me one last present before you leave me. And he makes the case that, he does have a family and this is too stressful for him, and that he just can't do it anymore. And he wants to leave the Empire as well. And Luthien does what you'd expect. He gives him a highfalutin speech about how he sacrificed everything. That he expects him to sacrifice everything as well. And that is kind of where they leave that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of Thanos' speech when he's in the Soul Stone. He said, "Did you get what you wanted? Yeah. What'd you have to give it to get it? Everything." I gave it all up, okay, to reach my goal. And so, that was I wasn't expecting that. When I seen him walking through the city, I thought he was initially going to spy on somebody. That's what I thought he was initially doing. And then when he gets to the top and I see Luthien, I was like, well, holy shit. Okay, so Luthien got folks all over the place. And somehow he's been able to remain in the shadows, even though he's got all these contacts. So he's very slick at covering his trails.
They know a code name for him, but they don't know who the code name is attached to.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, they've discussed that a couple times. They've mentioned his name as being connected to Andor, so they know the connection because he met him over the stolen Imperial equipment. And so they know of him because of that meeting under a different name, but they haven't been able to put two and two together. Something tells me everyone's going to be betrayed. The spy on the inside of the Empire is going to be betrayed. Someone's going to rat him out, and Luthien's going to get outed at some point because I don't recall him in anything after this.
No. So he's got to perish at some point in time, which I'm figuring. Season 2. That's what I'm figuring. Well, We do have 2 episodes left in this one. What's your prediction there? Think this season or next season?
Next season.
Next season. Okay. I can be down with that. Now, some of the things that Lonnie Jung actually tells Luthien is about the trap that has been set up with that rebel ship. And Luthien says, yeah, I'm sending the men out there to him anyway. Krager and his 50 men. He's like, yeah, if I tell them not to go, then they're going to know that somebody on the inside is giving me info. So
kind of one of those hard decisions in war.
Yeah, sacrificing 50 men is worth it. So he's just Luthen's like, yeah, I'm going to send these 50 men to die. It's kind of like when they had the mission to steal the credits. He knew he was sending the majority of them to die. That
is true. He would argue that he is the guy who is forced to make and live with these decisions.
There you go. It's like well, you're not putting your life on the line. It's like, well, I'm putting more than that on the line. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That was just, you go through the mentality of all the people you had to sacrifice to make it to this point. Now he does say one thing that he said, I will. And this is what I always tell people. So I will not live to see the fruits of my work, pretty much. It said, I don't expect myself to make it to see the day where the empire falls. So I'm just in too dangerous of a business. And obviously, that's foreshadowing, as always, as they usually do in these things, in these particular shows. And so that gives us the indication that at some point in time, he's going to get outed out. He's going to get in a bad situation, and he's either going to get captured and executed, or he'll get killed during a fight, which is what both of our predictions are. So he promptly says, Lonnie Junk, you can't leave. I appreciate you coming here. I appreciate you telling me all the things that are troubling you, and go back and do your damn job, okay? I mean, it's just like, go back and do your job, all right? Don't come back to me anymore with this nonsense. And so that actually wraps up episode 10. So yeah, that's the Andor 9 and 10. We've got 2 more episodes left, Corey. Predictions for the next 2 episodes.
I don't know. We got a lot of loose ends to tie up.
Mm-hmm. For this first season. Yeah,
but I'm more interested in what's going on with Andor, what happens to him on the planet, and so.
Do you think our focus will be there for the most part?
Yeah, I think so, because he's got to get off that planet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we could have focus on that particular thing. I think we might have maybe a little bit with Bix. She seems like she's going to be an integral part at some point in time. So maybe even some type of rescue, maybe not even from Andor himself, but from somebody else. Maybe the other lady who's Vale's love interest, which I can't remember her name right offhand, that's left on the planet, might come and rescue her. I think Marva will probably pass this season, Andor's mother. I do foresee that because she does seem sick. Said something about she stopped taking her medicine, things of that nature. So I expect her to pass this particular season, and then we'll have we'll have to see what happens with Mon Mothma, and if she's able to come up with any type of arrangement with Davos, which does not include her whoring her daughter off. Which does not include that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we've got quite a bit to wrap up in 2 hours. They got quite a bit to wrap up in 2 hours, and to leave us a good cliffhanger for season 2. So I'm hyped. I'm hyped, ready to see how this particular season ends.
Yeah, it's been good so far, and I have no doubts it'll continue to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, if y'all guys hadn't checked it out, episode 9 and 10, we gave you that synopsis, but go check it out. It's even better when you watch it. It's even better when you watch it. And this has been probably one of my favorite shows of the year. I could probably say this particular year.
Yeah, I'd agree.
One of my favorite shows. Yeah, most intrigued. So that's going to wrap up this particular episode of Showtime with the Cube, Andor's episode 9 and 10. Be on the lookout. We'll be covering episode 11 and 12. Of course, the final episode comes out the day before Thanksgiving. Comes out on the 23rd. So yeah. So that'd be the final episode. So me and Corey be getting around and be giving y'all coverage of those 2 episodes and our predictions of what we think we'll see in season 2. So Corey, you got anything else for the people out there?
Nope. Till next time.
Yeah, till next time. Hey, be on the lookout. Corey is in the process of legally watching Wakanda Forever. All right, and and so we're going to have that coming out right here within the next couple of days for y'all. We'll give us the breakdown on that, and then we're going to look at a couple of trailers as well over the next few days. We had a new one come out. We probably need to talk about Avatar potentially. Also,
potentially
John Wick, the 4th chapter. Okay, John Wick 4.
John Wick.
Yeah, the Wick. This seems to be the last one. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do a couple of trailers for y'all as well. So be on the lookout for that. We appreciate everybody for checking us out. So from your boy XQ420, co-host Corey Hughes, we'll catch y'all on the next Showtime with the Cube. Peace out.